Alright guys, Supreme Kami here, and today we are going to be doing another Shuji summon. So this time around we are looking at Char's Zaku II from the Origin. So let's kind of talk about him, and we obviously do have a Char's Aznable right there as well. And in the background we'll be putting on some gameplay of Zaku II over on the JP version of it. So we do have two gameplay. One is going to be in a space map, co-op style. One is going to be on a ground map. So you guys do get both, both worlds to see how good or how it does or how it performs. Performance wise, don't look at the damage because it's irrelevant. It's more showcasing what the unit is able to do, just combat wise. So take it as a grain of salt. So let's kind of get started. So you guys do already know at this point in time, generic unit pretty much have stat that are pretty spread out. So they are, it is what it is. I wouldn't consider them like peak. I wouldn't consider them as weak. They're just right there in that sweet spot, pretty good. So let's kind of go a little bit further. Land, space, underwater, not too susceptible, so we have that. So I feel like overall, as far as the Zaku II is going to be a first unit that is not heavily dependent on the Transcendent skill. Although Transcendent skill that gives it an extra perks, but I feel like for global currently, for the meta, damage output wise, I feel like Zaku can still be a very viable option to use, despite the fact that you're missing out a few things that we will be talking about in just a little bit. So starting off with the EX skill, we're not going to talk about generic you dealing damage. We're going to talk about the two effects. There are two effects. The translation unfortunately are just as bad as they usually are. If you do read them straight out, without thinking too much about that, you might think like, man, like, am I gonna reduce my own speed by 76%? Then am I gonna be taking more physical damage? Which is actually the opposite. I don't know why they couldn't say for like decrease enemy speed by that percentage and then deal more damage to enemy XYZ. So I really don't get how they do the translation, but simply you are decreasing the enemy speed by 76% and you're dealing more projectile damage to the enemy. So with that said, I feel like Zaku is already doing a lot more damage by popping EX skill, so that is already a good sign. The Transcendent skill. Alright, so would I say Zaku II is not heavily, should I even say that? No, there is a, I feel like a defining factor. You should have at least one Transcendent skill active, or like at least the first level of it is to unlock the strong attack Zaku machine gun. Because if we do take a little bit low below right here, you guys can see that this is where the Zaku is gonna be capable of dealing more damage. I feel like if you don't have that, I feel like you're shafting yourself. You're not doing the Zaku justice by not giving him that. So I feel like that's where the problem gonna comes in, because you guys will notice, right? Throughout the Zaku run, on JP version, I only have Zaku at no Transcendent skill. So most of the time, I'm only doing the machine gun, which is only B plus power. So is that good enough? Definitely not. So if you don't have at least the first Transcendent level, you are most likely not going to be having a good time running Zaku, because you're not, majority of the time Zaku does range attacks. So if you don't have that, it's kind of a problem. So please, if you guys are summoning for Zaku, please try either go for dupes or you use your rainbow coin to at least get one singular Transcendent skill, and that's all I'm asking. The other one is more being dodging, which I feel like dodging is good, but there are units that can take away your evasion. Who am I talking about? Hakashiki. Hakashiki right now, I feel like the release order is a little funky. They should have released Zaku II first, then release Hakashiki in down the line, but no, they messed it up. So I feel like summoning for the origin Zaku is like you're playing yourself into the hands of Hakashiki being able to block the evasion and then just one shot you, for example. So that's a huge problem. So I feel like this is not too important at the moment, because you can definitely use your modules, you can use your unit enhancement to mess with the evasion. So with that said, I feel like the origin of Zaku II is not too Transcendent heavy. get the first transcendent level, and get out of here. The rest of the skill 1 and skill 2, they do increase further damage, which is actually pretty nice. At the beginning of the battle, projectile damage up by 80%, pretty nice. Skill 2 does do more damage, but you do need to evade for 10 seconds. You do have 14%, right? Up to 5 times. So in theory, you can get stacked up to 70%. So that's why having the evasion is quote unquote good. But if you are facing enemy that can take that away, that's not good. So I feel like skill 2 is definitely a very situational thing. Is not guaranteed. You're not given, right? The other portion of it is defeating enemies. So this goes to say is the situational thing. We have a lot of game content that is a singular enemy only, so you might take it as half and half. Sometimes you can do it, sometimes you cannot. Arena is gonna work, co-ops may not, because there's always going to be one enemy for co-ops, and then for arenas there's always 6. So kind of take it as you will. Skill 2 is kind of that gray area where yes, you know, first and foremost it's going to allow you to do more damage, but is it always 100%? No. But I do want to go back to the EXQ, because EXQ is already increasing the projectile damage taken. So that's why I feel like even though you may not have the Transcendent skill to back up the skill 2, but at the same time Zaku is already outputting a damage via popping out the EXQ to get that increase. I feel like it kind of balancing out, and Zaku is still a very great unit in our global meta right now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you do have to summon, please get the first Transcendent skill, and that's it. So that might require you to pump a few more diamonds into it if you do like Zaku for whatever reason. If not, I feel like it's very justifiable to skip right now, because we just came off from a extreme limited week banner. So I think a lot of people are drained from summoning. So this is honestly a hot skip if you don't like Zaku II, especially a Char Zaku II. If you don't like it, skip it. So that's my opinion on it. But if you do, get Transcendent skill 1 and then you're good. So let's talk about Char Aznable. Let's see what's going on. Same thing. Char is a heavily depending on evasion. So if you're not evading, or if the enemy is not attacking you, then it's a problem, because the first skill is basically if you're not dodging, you're not getting that. So they give you a very generous 83%, but guess what, if you don't pop evasion, you're not getting that off. So it's a very situational thing. So that right there is intention to how invested your Zaku II is. So I feel like right there and then, I feel like Char is just not the team player you want in your bench. So I feel like with that said, Zaku is not a go-to. Like, I would not even go for him. Skill 2, we do have range sense increase, red mobile suit. So this is the word tag. This is not the red element. This is targeting mobile suit that are colored in red. So Char Zaku is obviously in red, so that's why it's red mobile suit. 38%. How nice. It's only that much. Wow, I was expecting more. And for the second skill, we do have a rifle unit increased reaction time. So that is the ability to either block or like guarding or evasion. So that's nice. I do appreciate the fact that they do increase that. Reaction time is actually not that bad, 30 at 136. So that's pretty good. That's actually pretty good. But I would say I do want a little bit more, just to be a little bit selfish, because we do know this whole combo needs dodging. If you're not dodging, you're not making this work. So but man, I feel like summoning for Char is not the right play. I refuse to, because of this. Like, it's good, yeah, I get it's good, but man, if you're not dodging, like, you're not taking advantage of that. But I think that's pretty much all I have to say about these two. Zaku II is great. I cannot deny it, but there are some stipulation that's gonna make Zaku's life harder. Like unit that can apply non-avoidable status, which is gonna innately takes away everything that it's doing, but at the same time is already doing high damage without them already. So it doesn't matter of fact, can you survive, which I feel like, you know, work with it. It should work, right? But yeah, Char, definitely do not. So that's my final statement to that. But other than that, let me know if you guys are submitting for the Char's Zaku II, the origin, and I'll be catching you guys all on the next one.